We have a Ketra-most deck. Okay, I have been thinking a lot about Ketra-most recently since I've just added the Ketra-most to my two-headed giant cube. If you want a video about that, by the way, I did upload a bonus video to the second channel. The video to the second channel was cube upgrades for the two-headed giant cube. I was putting in Ketra-most and such. So it's on the VOD's on the channel. Anyway, it's bracket 3 control. Focuses on using Ketra-most to turn your vast amounts of exile-based removal into card draw, and then either draw into your win cons, Flicker Infinite, Flicker Gary, Approach of the Second Sun, or Commander damage. I tend to do really well into most bracket 3 battle cruiser mid-range slop decks by the nature of me just having a ton of card draw and removal. This deck is bracket 3, but I play a ton of proxies, so budget isn't an issue. I'm also an evil mean player, so no card is off limits in terms of how mean it is. I like to more finely tune my win cons so I can be faster and do better against a wider variety of strategies. Right now, the deck feels a little unfocused. So, oh, whoops, let me change scenes rapidly. I'm a genius. Whoa. Deck reviews, there we go. I accidentally misclicked on OBS. So, my first question is, like, where are your pain points? Is there anything you find boring with the deck? Is there anything you're not really vibing with, per se? Like, you're saying it feels unfocused. Because I'm kind of interested in maybe stealing from Modern for this. Because Modern does have a lot of tech around Ketra-most. There was that whole Ketra-most craze for a little while with Modern. In my mind, I want the Flicker stuff to be better. A lot of the times, I'll see a couple Flicker pieces, but never really enough to impact the game. Okay, so we can work on that. I feel like, is Portcullis ever hard to trigger? I'm going to default to your opinion to this. Does anyone, do they just not play creatures in a Portcullis anymore? Because I'm almost wondering if, like, Mirror of Life Trapping might be a better side grade to that. Right, whenever a creature enters, if it was cast to exile, then return all other permanent cards exiled with this artifact under its owner's control. And then Ketra-most triggers each time that happens. Oh, no, it doesn't, because it's only during your turn for Ketra-most, but still. Portcullis is a pet card. Lol, it's mostly just to lock people to play creatures into it. Okay, okay. I know how I feel about the double strike here. I feel like you just have enough time to do stuff. I like double strike when it's, like, increasing your clock. Ghost Vacuum Relic. This makes sense. I'm tracking. Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, Jet Medallion. Jet Medallion, Pearl Medallion, I'm not a big fan of here. I typically just don't like these cards in two color decks. Like, how many cards was Jet Medallion cost reducing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It was cost reducing, 9, 10, 11. It was discounting 10% of your deck. That's, like, better as a mana rock, is it not? The Pearl Medallion made a little bit more sense, but I'm still not a big fan of it. Diabolic Tutor, I'm kind of just interested in going a little bit more grindy with this. I can see the appeal of an escape card like this, but if you can't put it back into your graveyard repeatedly, it's just a little bit dangerous. Sheltered by Ghost is fucking stupid. That's awesome. Iona's Blessing. Okay, some of your auras are a little bit weird, and plus the auras also conflict a little bit with the flickering theme going on here. So actually, maybe I will cut Shelter by Ghost, just because auras and flickers don't go well together. I like with great power, that should probably be Pariah instead. Pariah can just attach to opponent's creatures and act as removal. So for that reason, I think I'm going to just offer you Pariah instead of with great power. Yeah, with great power, it makes you unkillable. So good. I agree. However, Pariah has the better utility, and it doesn't have Spider-Man in the art, so think about it. I mean, maybe the correct answer is run both, but honestly, I think this is just fine as a little flavor and like a tutor target, as opposed to something you'd play multiples of, and then the second copy's a dead draw, which is pretty deadly for a control deck. Wait, Doom's Time platform? What the fuck is this? Whenever you attack, exile target non-land permanent from your graveyard and with 2 time counters on it. That's not bad. We do try to avoid Spider-Man art. Okay, if that's true, then like maybe we're trying to avoid Marvel. I'll stick it in the considering so you can at least think about it though. The ooze. It's okay. I'm wondering if you want to turn this into a little bit of a mill deck, and then so that way your opponent's graveyards are constantly stocked, so you can just keep like eating them. I think that's a little funny. This is Monoptopsy. I think maybe we can also turn this a little bit into a Path to Exile deck. Like, if you run Aven Mind Sensor and Archivist of Ogma Balls. Deep Gnome, Terramancer, Winds of Abandon. So the joke here is that Path is very good in this deck because it draws a card from Ketra-most. Winds of Abandon does the same thing as Path. And then when you cast these cards, you make them shuffle. And you also make them put lands into play without playing them. Which are both very good. This is just Wrath of God, right? -3 mana. Yeah, it's just Wrath of God. I don't like... I wish to see more exiling objects. We just have so many rads here. Hey, Elk, how much does it cost to redeem a deck review with channel points? So the channel point deck review is $45K. It's not done during these streams, the Tuesday and Sunday streams. It's done during a bonus stream, which I will announce via the Discord what the date is, typically in advance. Okay. I like the deck where Obsidat's good. Gray Merchant feels a little weak. Just because we don't have a lot of Black Devotion. Solemn feels a little weak. Resto. Felidar. So we have an infinite combo here. Are we doing awesome infinite combo stuff? Are we happy with that? Or do we want to like try to reach for some sillier options per se? I don't really like the Oxen Lurker here. It doesn't trigger Ketra-most unless you flicker it. Two other pieces in considering. I like doing the infinite. Okay, great. We can focus a little bit on the infinite then. Yeah, I don't like Icewind Stalwart. I'm happy you're not running that. I'm curious on your opinion of like Kaya. This Kaya is so much... Kaya, okay, first things first. Kaya just gets banger cards back to back to back. I've never seen a Kaya card where I'm like, this is boring as shit. Kaya always gets awesome cards, but Kaya's Spirit's Justice. Whenever one of her creatures you control and your creature cards in your graveyard are put into exile, you may choose a creature card from among them. Until end of turn, target token you control becomes a copy of it, except as flying. And then this triggers Ketra-most. This triggers Ketra-most. And then this just makes blockers. And I think this is a really funny, grindy way to go ham with it. We can also look at something like Kaya's card quality is inversely proportional to how interesting she is as a character. I know, they always give such cool cards to Kaya, but they refuse to give her any story spotlight. It pisses me the fuck off. Anyway, yeah, that Kaya's just fun. But if you want a more realistic kind of answer to like, what do I like looking at in terms of like Exile Matters stuff? I had a great idea, but it's left me, but I'll remember it soon. I'm really not interested in Corpse Knight. I don't know what the thinking is here. Is this like an Abdel Adrian kind of thing? I don't know. I just don't like that this card only works with this broken stupid card. Turns infinite to win the game. I see, because you're exiling things repeatedly. I just like to think that hopefully if we're drawing like 50 cards, our control deck wins. I just hope and pray that's the case. You know what I mean? I don't like some of these creatures that are just enter, gain a life, draw a card. It's just like there's better options that are cheaper. Just wondering if there's any artifacts we can be flickering here. Nope, not quite. I haven't been really liking to spark. It feels a little mid. Scroll shift's kind of expensive. Okay, we have teleportation circle. My first thought is let's get Moon Blessed Cleric. So this turns Pariah into a tutor target because it searches for an enchantment. And then it also gets teleportation circle on curve. Both of those are pretty nice. Is Touch the Spirit Realm good? Yes, I do like Touch a lot. In fact, I like it a lot more than Cloud Shift, for instance. I typically find that 1 mana just doesn't really matter. And then when it does matter, I prefer it to be a 2-for-1 like Ephemerate. So you can run Touch the Spirit Realm instead. It's +1 mana. That's twice as much mana. That's a lot. But, like, I don't know. I just prefer my flicker spells to be, like, have utility. As a sorcery, I prefer, like, Forsake the Worldly. But, like, even then, I'm like a... I'm also a little concerned about your land count, but you do draw a lot of cards, so maybe it's fine. Okay. The White March, what's it called? Oh, yeah. White March is okay. Because we already have Felia. We already have Teleportation Circle. We could do, like, Gale Powder Mage. It's not that good. Exile another target creature. Return that card. Begin the next end step. It's not bad, is my thing, though. You could do some Preston stuff. Preston the Vanisher is a very good combo card. White March is okay. Okay, I can see how that one can be taken out of context. Airbender's Ascension? Yeah, Airbender's Ascension is pretty good, isn't it? That's the one that is just Teleportation Circle, right? Airbender's Reversal. Oops. Airbender's Ascension. Airbender Ascension. It's not possessive. I see. Yep, airbend up to 1 target creature. Whenever a creature you control enters, put a quest counter on this enchantment. Beginning your end step, yep, you can exile up to 1 target creature you control and then return to the battlefield. Okay, dope. What are we flickering? Objects and trinkets and stuff. I mean, worst case, you just flicker Ketra-most, draw a card. We should definitely be on Solitude. Bite the bullet. Put this in your deck. It's broken. Maybe... Solitude better than March. Yeah, Solitude just, it's flickerable. It's kind of non-negotiable. You can do Fiend Hunter stuff. Wait. Can we turn this into a Fiend Hunter deck? So the joke is, Fiend Hunter enters and exiles Werefox Bodyguard, which then puts All Fate Stalker back into play, which then exiles Fiend Hunter, which then puts Werefox Bodyguard back into play, which then exiles... You can, like, do Fiend Hunter loops like that. Palace Jailer is broken. It's not part of the loop, but it should be in the deck, for sure. I agree. Otag Fiend Hunter. Is Fiend Hunter? Otag Banish, thank you. So we need to avoid ones that say opponent's control. Also, Unlicensed Herster, Ghost Vacuum, Soul Cauldron, Repeat. So I don't know if you saw the rest of the deck, but these are already all in. This is a land cycler. Exile target creature to opponent controls. Womp womp. I do like Angel of Condemnation. This card is very sick. I hope he gets well soon. Angel Serenity is very strong. Can get rid of blockers, but I don't know. You're just not really attacking in this deck, really. And opponent controls. I'm going to do -0 opponent. Minus, or T:(creature. And this will filter out the ones that I do not want, which only exile opponent stuff, and it also only makes it things that work in the combo. So Faceless Butcher is a Fiend Hunter. Attacking or blocking creatures, so that one doesn't really work. Okay, so we have the 4-ish kind of cards that work with this. Maybe a Recruiter, the Guard to kind of glue them all together. I think they just say opponents now because of people like you. Elk, well, listen. What's the goal of all these Fiend Hunter cards other than drawing cards with Ketra-most? Okay, so if you've ever drawn 30 cards in a control deck, you wouldn't have asked this question to me. I don't know. What do you mean, what's the combo? The combo is we have infinite ETBs. That's pretty fucking strong, is it not? So instead of running a poor card quality card like Corpse Knight to make these all function, I'm wondering if there's a better option that we can include to make the looping kind of work a little better. We could go infinite life with like a Soul Sistery kind of angle. Like Guide of Souls is pretty decent. And then you can run a warp creature like, you run the warp angel, Starfield Shepherd to go and grab that gameplay object, right? Starfield Shepherd says, search your library for a plains card or a card with mana value 1. We need to get more lands in this deck anyway. This is kind of like a land in your slow deck. And then it also draws a card off Ketra-most when it unwarps itself, or like when it warps out to the warp zone. And then you can go grab Guide of Souls with it, which can be the infinite kind of looping thing that you need. And then Guide of Souls is also able to pump up Ketra-most and give it flying to get it through. So this is a higher card quality object than the other one. Plus, you just get infinite life, which is not that bad. And plus, this offsets the life loss from Ketra-most. Draw 40 cards, get Approach of the Second Sun. And then now we can run something like Reprieve to maybe just combo win at the end, because you can return a spell to its owner's hand. So you cast Approach, cast Reprieve, bounce it back to your hand, and then you can cast it again and then win. And maybe that's something. You could run the new Doom. That's like a Thassa's Oracle, but I don't think that's really the angle. But this is a higher card quality than Corpse Knight, is the long and short of it. I much prefer just gaining infinite life, drawing my entire deck, and then comboing off like this, because now we're not running a 2-mana 2/2 that can just get exploded and die, and then we cry. Lightfall Inquisitor. Let's read this card. Okay, I'm glad you just made up a card, but we don't do that around here. Okay, with all these more creatures, I am interested in an Overlord of the Baelmerk. Did I misspell Lightfall? Oh, Lightstall! Okay. Okay, anyway. Overlord the Baelmerk. Joke here is that you can flicker it with Felia to scam it. It's also just a fine 2-mana play. It stocks up your graveyard for all your Ghost Vacuums and stuff to eat them up. But yeah, Lightstall I'm not a big fan of, because it doesn't trigger Ketra. I don't know, I'm just not a fan. So I do want to free up a little bit more room. Sword's pretty good. Emeritus of Truce. I'm not having trouble exiling stuff. What I want more than anything right now is another 1-drop for Starfield Shepherd to go and grab. Did I miss why we're doing Approach? There's no synergy in this deck with Approach. It's just something that the player likes to do. Maybe out with Fumigate. Weathered Wayfarer in? No, I can see an argument for it, though. Hits or land drops. Yeah, we can do Weathered Wayfarer as the second 1-drop. Okay, great. Now Starfield Shepherd has a couple of hits to get. And then, of course, these all work with these. So maybe we include a couple more utility lands. I mean, we should just include more mana fixing in general, I think. Children of Corliss. I mean, that's not a bad answer. It's Grimmin time, so true. Okay. So ta-da, we've added a few more fixing lands. Pit of Offerings. It's a thought. I much prefer Scavenger Grounds, I think. If we had like Urza's Cave and stuff, I don't know. There's not a lot of other utility lands that have me really excited about that, though. Okay, let's play test this out. Draw. Swamp. Soul Ring. Or I guess maybe go Temple of Silence, scry one. Bottom. Bogart Trawler. Next turn. Swamp. Soul Ring. Exile something, I don't know. Next turn. Greater Ration City. Ooh, I do like that. Please remind me of that when we get done with the playtest here. Black, 1/2. Faceless Butcher. Exile your thing, draw a card. Next turn. Plains, Swamp 1, Overlord of the Balemerc, 1, 2, 3, 4 cards, get Fiend Hunter. And then you go 1, 2, 3, Werefox Bodyguard your thing, draw a card. Next turn, and then this turn you go 1, 2, 3, Fiend Hunter, exile Faceless Butcher. Oh, I messed up then. We don't Werefox Bodyguard yet. Instead, what you want to do is... See, our mana is just really bad. We can't play both because we just don't have all the mana we need. We need 4 white mana because you need to go Fiend Hunter this, and then you Werefox Bodyguard this, and then you have a loop here where you draw infinite cards and lose infinite life, I guess, but you just stop the chain at some point. The deck has Reprieve. That synergy with Reproach. Yeah, I added that. Okay. So we saw the Fiend Hunter plan come to fruition. We just didn't have the mana for it. Yeah, Fetid Heath. I was gonna Fetish Heath. Fetid Heath. There we go. Yep. So filtering. I was gonna do Otag Filterland. Yeah. There's some other stuff. Like this Kaya is a lot of fun. If you can ever find a way to like proliferate her up or stall out the game, this Kaya is a lot of fun. Because you can just start exiling a ton of shit. Okay, but I like the Fiend Hunter angle of this. This is kind of fun. Yeah, Greater Ration City, thank you for reminding me. Just, this draws cards. Exile creature card from your graveyard, create a 1/1 white spirit token. Temple of Silence, sorry. Temple of Silence already in. It's fine. Maybe you can do like an Ash Barrens over another swamp. I kind of want to get a Flicker Wisp in here. Just because Flicker Wisp plus Overlord is very strong. I'm mad we can't run that one blue card in this deck so bad. It's mana value 3, type, enchantment, attack, exile. I think it's my quest to get this in a deck someday. Web of Inertia. I'm so mad this isn't a white card. At the beginning of combat, on each opponent's turn, that player may exile a card from their graveyard. If that player doesn't, creatures they control can attack you this turn. So the idea is that you control their graveyard really hard, and then they can't attack you with the Ketra-most stuff. All Fate Stalker, that's already in. This hand's unkeepable. This hand's a little better. Drop. Bogart Trawler. Turn over. Next turn. Concealed Courtyard. Lion Sash. Next turn. Plains. 1, 2, 3. Ketra. Next turn. So here you're able to go pitch Lauren. Solitude something. Draw a card, lose a life. 1, 2, unlicensed Hearse. Don't tap like a moron. Exile Solitude from your own graveyard. Draw a card, lose a life, and miss your land drop. Okay, so this is what I'm fucking talking about. We need more lands in this deck. We're running 38 plus Starfield Shepherd. We need a couple more. I think Everybody Lives comes out. I'm just not that interested in like protecting my board that much. And it's like, okay, as a fog, I guess, but Kaya's Guile's maybe just a bit slow. And then now we can run a couple of throw an OG Duel. Absolutely, we can throw that in over Swamp, I think. But I want to get some more utility kind of here. But we can do Scrub Land is the white-black duel. Oh, also we need a fetch land, so we can do what's the fetch land name in Orzhov? I'm a fucking moron. Marsh Flats. Holy shit, Marsh Flats climbed up in price recently. I remember when this was the cheapest one. They're considering. Oh, okay. So this is gonna look weird. I normally don't like these one-off flicker spells, but I think Flicker of Fate is actually the choice because of Overlord of the Baelmerk. I think this is like literally my only line of thought is like Flickering's okay. 2-mana Flicker that can hit enchantment. That's kind of cool with Overlord of the Baelmerk. You can reset your the Legend of Yang Chen with it. That's really about it, but still. I kind of like it with the Overlord. I want to try it out. Okay, so we have 2 Fiend Hunters already. Marsh Flats, and then we get a Surveil Land. Shadowy Backstreet. Surveil 1. Relic top. Next turn. Command Tower. Relic. Scrubland, Ketra, draw a card. Black 1, try to hit Felia. 1, 2, 3, 4. We can get back Moonblessed Cleric if we really want to. I think so. Tap Relic of Progenitus. Exile Farewell, draw a card. 1, 2, Lion Sash. Next turn. Ash Barrens. 1, 2, 3, Moonblessed Cleric, get Pariah. That goes on top, but then we draw it right away because we exile Reprieve from our graveyard. Yeah. Pass. Okay, there's a little bit of clunk with the curve here, where it feels like we are now a little too 3-drop heavy. But still, here's Pariah on Ketra. Fiend Hunter, or Werefox Bodyguard your creature. Exile, draw. Exile from opponent's graveyard, draw. 1, 2. I think our Overlord's awake now. Ephemerate. Draw. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. Get back Faceless Butcher. 1, 2, 3, 4. We can do this next turn. Next turn. Ephemerate Overlord again. Draw a card. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's Abdel Adrian. So wait, doesn't Abdel Adrian go infinite with it? Because we can go Isolated Chapel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Abdel Adrian. Exile any number of non-land permanents you control. Dink. Not Ketra. Dink. 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 That's one or more things. Draw. We get a bunch of human soldiers. And then you go 1, 2, 3. Fiend Hunter, Abdel Adrian. All of these come back. We draw another card. And then Werefox Bodyguard enters and exiles Abdel Adrian, which brings back Fiend Hunter, which exiles Werefox Bodyguard, which puts Abdel Adrian back into play. And then you have an Abdel Adrian loop going on here. So there you go. So that's a bit what the Fiend Hunter kind of angle of this deck looks like, and I'm curious if that's kind of intriguing you. Java, thank you for getting a deck review for next week. It's the best way to support the channel. Thank you so much. Draw the whole deck, yes, exactly. But we have Approach in the graveyard at that point, so that's a little bit issue. So I don't know if I like Approach that much as the win angle here. But I'm trying to... There has to be something better than Corpse Knight. I refuse to believe that Corpse Knight's the best answer to this problem. Corpse Knight is a 2-mana approach if you draw your whole deck with a combo. No, but like in this loop, how do we get infinite damage? I do not want it to be Corpse Knight, because Corpse Knight is just kind of a dead card in my opinion. I do not really enjoy playing a 2-mana 2/2 and then like it drains sometimes here and there. Only way I know of. There's no way it's it though. It was Gary, but you cut it. Gary wouldn't work with only Fiend Hunters. Jaws of Defeat. Maybe. Hang on, chat. Wait. Cut a Swamp. Urza's Cave. And then you run Alter the Brood. I hate to be boring, but Alter the Brood does get got off Urza's Saga, which we already run. I like that this is easier to tutor for. But then, okay, but Jaws of Defeat, argument for Jaws of Defeat, Moonblessed Cleric can go and grab it. Whenever a creature you control enters, target opponent loses life. Yeah, I like this too. So I think maybe you just do a 2-pronged defensive like this, where like Jaws of Defeat and Ghost, or not, sorry, Alter the Brood. What I like about Alter the Brood too is that when you're milling your opponents, you're feeding your Ghost Vacuum, your Unlicensed Hearses, and etc. Like you're feeding your Exile from Graveyard cards, which does not feel bad. Okay, I'm fucking with it. Sounds good. Okay, we found the angle. So we have 3 cuts we need to make here. Ideally, we don't touch lands anymore. Maybe we can go out Reliquary Tower. That's just my primal hatred of that card. I also hate Reliquary. Perfect. Mwah. Is it not like good in this deck though? It's okay in this deck. I like it when we're doing the loop here, but then you just keep the best 7 cards, and that's probably going to look like Approach of the Second Sun, Reprieve. Like, you're going to win. If you keep 7 cards in this deck, you're going to win. I would just discard to hand size, exactly. We're back to 38 lands again. Yeah, that is the one tough thing, but like I think it's just better to be a swamp. Okay. Maybe Dawnbringer Cleric. I do like that the gain 2 life offsets the damage from the Abdel Adrian one when we're doing that loop. I also like the Obs Adapt. But these are objectively the clunkiest cards. Okay, maybe Kaya is in the path, but I'll put it in considering just because this is a funny card. And so, like, you can do more Kaya stuff in the future with this deck if you decide you're bored of this Shadow of the Second Sun stuff. You have an alternate build path here. Like, Kaya proliferate Planeswalkers. Maybe Ravenous Chupacabra. We just need it less now that we have all these Fiend Hunters that are also interaction. And then maybe you go out Swords. So maybe Anguished Unmaking. Baleful. Baleful's probably it. So you go out Baleful Mastery just because we have all these Fiend Hunters bouncing around. Yeah, Feast and Famine is just a good card, but also just like, do you need it? We do have an Evasive Commander. It's kind of nice there. Probably just already owns it. I don't hate it. I like that it makes opponents discard, so it fills up the graveyard so we can Ghost Vacuum it. All right. I think we're in a good place here. I think I'm just going to not mess with perfection. I think this deck is kind of cool. I like the Fiend Hunter angle a lot more than what we had before. We got a little bit more Flicker value engine synergy with like Felia and stuff. I think this works out.